Hello, my friends. Welcome back to Restricted Republic. My name is Justus Knight. I can't thank you enough for being here. Today is exactly why we love doing what we do for a living, bringing you those little bits of information that the mainstream media conveniently forgets. And as you know, and as Trump's impeachment is all but set to fail by the weekend, Democrats are now threatening to release the 14th Kraken. For those of you that don't know what that means, they're going to use the 14th Amendment to assure that Donald J. Trump can never run for office again. In their own sense, already declaring a complete loss. But you see, Joe Biden has some involvement in that 14th Amendment. Something that happened in the past that we're going to dust off for you and show you why. That this is pretty much all set but to derail the process. Doesn't mean the Democrats will ever stop. We know they most likely won't because truth, well, isn't really that important. It's more the effect of what they're trying to achieve. But before we go any further, I have two very important things to ask of you. First, and as you see next to me, if you haven't joined us at Gab or Telegram or whichever platform you prefer, BitChute or Rumble, I hope you will. I'll leave the links below in the description box. But number two, and we're going to transition this into a whole second part. I'm going to give you 25 of the best elements you could have over the weekend to use against any of those friends or family who may not agree with you. We're going to go ahead and take this article right here. I'm going to go full screen very quickly. We're going to go ahead and expand this to include all those in Hollywood who did the exact same thing. Gina Carano did an even worse, but yet aren't being met with the same backlash. You know, we love to expose hypocrisy, and I'm going to do that in 25 ways for you, very quickly, effectively, but only at restrictedrepublic.com. We hope you could join us over there. To enjoy the video, I'm going to give you 14 days for free, so you could check out the entire platform while you're using that. And trust me, it is an amazing tool to have over the weekend, especially when you're out and about. And on top of that, I'm going to offer you $5 a month for the next 12 months, simply by using discount code Trump at monthly checkout. Utilize that and see all the information there. All the information you probably are starting to fear is long lost with everybody being silenced everywhere. It's why we created the platform to allow us and our audience. We're beholden to no sponsors, no advertisers, just our audience. And that's why we created restrictedrepublic.com. But now let's get back to this broadcast. So as I had told you about earlier, Chucky Schumer leaves door open to 14th Amendment measure to bar Trump from office. Tim Kaine is, of course, right behind him in this. But we're going to go into the details of what this all means. I'm going to drop myself out of the screen. Democratic senators have discussed in recent weeks that if they cannot secure the 67 votes needed to convict Trump and bar him from holding office in subsequent simple majority vote, that they might invoke the 14th Amendment of the Constitution to do the same. Well, some would jump right immediately to the 14th Amendment and not see anything pertaining to that. But remember, there's multiple sections. Not the primary. We have to go down a little bit into Section 3. No person shall be a senator or representative in Congress, or elector of president and vice president, or hold any office, civil or military, under the United States or under any state, who, having previously taken an oath as a member of Congress. Now, I know this is a little bit long-winded, but you have to understand the basis of what they're going for here before you can appreciate what Biden's actually done about this already that nobody's talking about. But I digress. Or as an officer of the United States, or as a member of any state legislature, or as an executive or judicial officer of any state, to support the Constitution of the United States shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion against the same, or given aid or comfort to the enemies thereof. But Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each house, remove such disability. Now, the key words there are insurrection and or rebellion, and that's what they're utilizing or attempting to utilize against Donald J. Trump. The amendment was originally for Congress to banish from future federal office any current or former politician deemed by Congress to have engaged in insurrection. Now remember, this was adopted after the Civil War and was designed to prevent officers or political leaders of the Confederate Army, or the Confederate regime at that point in time, let's put it, from being elected to Congress or the presidency. That's why this was put in place. Well, it's still there. And it has more now. I love this Washington Times article. Canceling Swampus Horribilis, because that's what they're attempting to do, is to cancel Donald J. Trump from ever being able to run from office again. Democrats turn to their final tool in their torture closet, the 14th Amendment. What a great way to write that up. In a new world, it would be impossible for a Congress to punish a man for engaging in insurrection after Congress had just acquitted the same man of engaging in insurrection. Or as Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer recently called it on the Senate floor, well, we'll let him speak for himself.
No mistake. There will be a trial, and when that trial ends, senators will have to decide if they believe Donald John Trump incited the election.
Now, you didn't hear him wrong, but he wasn't the only one to make that slip up.
Are going to sit and listen to the Senate impeachment trial of the former president of the United States, who has been impeached for inciting the insurrection at the.
Seems multiple people have difficulty getting that statement out. Sorry, we got to lighten it up every now and then. It gets too darn serious on these broadcasted moments because, unfortunately, the topics are too darn serious. But we'll go back to what's happening with this entire 14th Amendment. One small problem with their precious 14th Amendment is that it did not recognize either women or Indians not taxed who lived in America at the time. I mean, I get it that these people are all about canceling people they don't like, especially based on race or gender, but pretty sure that canceling women and Indians not taxed would be totally uncool, man. I love how the author wrote this. The other really great thing about the 14th Amendment is that it includes a way out for Congress. Now, here's where the really fun part comes in. The part that nobody's discussing, the part that, of course, we dig and research and provide references, as you know, so you can look for yourself that this is all as real as it gets. While the amendment allows Congress to cancel anyone who is engaged in insurrection or rebellion, it also gives Congress the power to uncancel anyone, as they say fit, who was engaged in insurrection or rebellion. Congress may, by a vote of 2/3 of each House, remove such disability according to the amendment. You see, some insurrections, as they declare here, the author declares, are worse than others. Take Jefferson Davis. I'm going to move myself just so you get the full impact of this. And Robert E. Lee, the two most influential leaders of the aforementioned actual Civil War. In the 1970s, both men were granted amnesty by Congress under the 14th Amendment. Then, Senator Joseph R. Biden, Delaware Democrat, voted to absolve both men. Because, after all, that wasn't really an insurrection. I mean, well, it's kind of different than this one, right? And doesn't that just go to show everything we're facing nowadays, the hypocrisy of these procedures that are occurring around us? We even have Raskin, by the way, altering historic quotes. Thomas Paine's quote, to be more specific, during these proceedings. You see, they've altered truth. I showed you that yesterday. I'm showing you again today. If you had such a preponderance of evidence, why change anything? The quote that he actually changed was the lead Democratic House impeachment manager on Thursday rewrote Thomas Paine's famous revolutionary passage about the times to try men's souls. Changing it to, well, because Nancy Pelosi asked him to, this crisis document here, this quote, she asked him to change it to, these are the times to try men and women's souls. These are the times to try men and women's souls, because they don't want to offend any modern sense and sensibilities. Well, they're changing history everywhere. They're going against promises. Biden indicates that masks will be worn through next year. That's different than the 100 days he initially promised, but he's doing that everywhere, and he's not the only one alone, because Alec Baldwin now suspects that politics were responsible for the boss's DWI incident. No, you can't make it up, and that's where I'm going to take a break here, and just wanted to get you up to speed on the ins and outs of the 14th Amendment. They are threatening to utilize by releasing the Kraken of the 14th Amendment. Now we're going to go into the ultimate 25 hypocrisies, just to illustrate to you how prevalent they are. We'll capture them all, so you can have an amazing weekend replaying that portion of the video to all your friends and family who still disagree with you. But that's what we do here. We present things to assure you're enlightened and educated and ready for any discussion point that comes up. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that if you haven't gone to Gab, if you haven't gone to Telegram, you'll join us there. We update you to no matter where we're broadcasting, where those videos can be found. Of course, restrictedrepublic.com. Right now, 14 days for free to enjoy the second half of this. Completely, entirely subject matter. I don't break things and try to tease you over there. That's not what we do. Rather, we just do the information we can't do on other platforms over there because it's no longer allowed. And trust me, with the quotes that are being listed, it would never be allowed to be published. Unfortunate as that is, but we gave you a bastion of truth and freedom at restrictedrepublic.com. 14 days for free, $5 a month, simply for using discount code TRUMP at monthly checkout. Get over there. Check out the video, and when you see the platform and all the information is there, you're going to be like, that's where it all went. They're giving us no option. Just ask Project Veritas or Gateway Pundit or the multitude of others who are being silenced on every platform. As we told you it was going to happen, it's happening now. Hope you enjoyed this. Don't forget to educate everybody on the 14th Amendment and what Joseph Biden did on it so that they realize, too, that our politicians have to practice what they preach. And unfortunately, for the Democrats, they're going to have to practice what Joe Biden preached many, many years ago. So until next time, Godspeed and God bless. Justus Knight, signing out.